here for Done by Dorothy today. We're doing our 25 days of Christmas, our freebie digital giveaway and the tutorials that go along with it. So this is day 6. Hopefully you're still sticking in there with us. We have this small, almost ATC, a little bit bigger than an ATC size card, but you could use it for an ATC. We have this gorgeous little bird, almost postcard size. And we have the little Santa Claus here. I love the Santas. This is almost like, if you think of like the money envelopes you get at Christmas time. So you could definitely make a money envelope out of that. So again, day 6. Hopefully everybody's sticking along with us. So here's what we're doing today. We're going to create, out of the little ATC card, it says a very Merry Christmas. Let me try to hold it up where you can see it really close. And it's got some lace and stuff on there. So we're going to build it up. It's an ATC card. There's our number 6. And it's a journaling spot. We are creating out of the little birdie almost postcard, a little booklet, lots of lace, lots of layering. And inside is a little notepad. And this has just got, there's some Christmas bulbs and some hot cocoa, some evergreen boughs. Pretty. We're going to use a different notepad on there, but I'll show you how you sort of get that. Let me sort of back up so you can see. There you go. So there's that. And then we're going to do a Concertina pocket. And I sort of got this idea off of, I think it's, and if I'm wrong, I apologize for hacking up your name. I think it's Kerr, G-I space capital K-E-R-R. I'll put a link to her YouTube channel in the description box below. This is where I got this idea. So we will turn this into a pocket by the time we get done. So you will see what it is. It actually, you untie the ribbon. And then well, now if I can get a hold of it. If you grab a hold of it, it pulls open. It creates all of that journaling area. You'll also be able to turn it over and be able to journal on the back. But it'll actually be a pocket when we get finished with it. So let's get started. So let me set this to the side. Small journaling card over. We're going to start with our booklet. First thing is we need to cut down. I actually use cardstock. You could use coffee dyed paper. I just chose to use cardstock because I have this, well, I used red. I have some that have faded areas on the end, so I thought I might as well use that. So we're going to do this at 5.5 by 4. So we need 5.5 by 8 because we're going to fold it in half. So let me cut this end off first. Let me get this nasty part. And you know, it's all faded, so I didn't want to get rid of it. So I'm going to turn it around this way. I'm going to cut it at 8. So we have our green piece we can use for something else. And I need it at 5.5. So there we go for that. And then while we're cutting, we know that this is going to be our booklet size, so we need our notepad to be smaller than that. So I'm actually going to trim my notepad down. Set up as far as I think I'm going to cut it right below the candy cane, just so I get that candy cane in there. Put it right above the line so you don't notice that. So I'm going to paper clip these because these are something I can use later on one of the ones we're doing in a couple days, because we can always have extra notebook paper. And then I'm going to pull the gummy gunky part off the top of it, which separates all of those, but I didn't want that in there all clumpy. Okay, so get this out of the way. Okay, so we need to fold this in half. You could score this on a scoreboard. If it's folding it in half, I don't mind so much like doing it versus scoring, although this is extremely heavy duty. And I did, you guys would be so proud of me, I found my bone folder, so you guys won't have to watch me do it with scissors and everything else. Okay, so let's get our ink, and I'm using Distress Oxide today with Vintage Photo just because of using the dark green. I think the oxide shows up better on the outside. And again, you guys know me, I'm just gonna speed through doing this. And I don't overly coat it because I think, you know, when you're taking that natural vintage look, it just doesn't, it's not completely the same exact color all the way around. It ages, you know, at different rates. And I'm going to want to open up and I'm going to ink up the inside. And I'm probably going to have to exchange my sponge, but I sort of like when they get like that because I think it looks more natural. It doesn't have that like it was intentionally inked, I guess is the word, but it's really starting to fall apart. So I'm probably going to have to change it out probably after this video. I do use the makeup brushes when I'm stenciling. Actually, I have several different kinds of those that I use. And I also use the sponges, again, for certain things that I'm doing. For my outside inking, I really like the blenders. And I have not tried the dome blenders that Donna on Junk Journaling Ideas had. So that's going to have to be my next little thing to grab. Okay, so there's that. So let me find my cheesecloth because I'm going to use my cheesecloth. And I looked out, I bought a thing of cheesecloth at my Goodwill, and it was this massive round log. They had rolled it, you know, they did 2 foot long sections and rolled it, you know, and so it made this big huge roll. The roll was like this big. I don't know how many pieces of cheesecloth is in there. I've used it for 2 years and there's still, I don't think I've even used 1/3 of it. Okay, so, and again, I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac because if it's fabric, I use my Fabri-Tac. That's just my standard. I want to leave a little bit off the edges. And again, you wouldn't have to use this much. I'm just sort of want a little bit extras along my edge here. Okay, so I'm going to throw it down. Some Fabri-Tac, and you don't have to use an overly large amount of Fabri-Tac. I overglue everything, I think. I don't know if I'm the only one, but, and these birds, I used it on the red earlier, and then I found this green, and I went, oh, I absolutely love the green. I think it goes, you know, you got that whole Christmas green. Of course, you know, if you were giving a nature journal to someone as a Christmas gift, this will be perfect to put on the front of it, or, you know, tuck on the inside too. Just with the Merry Christmas on there, just a really simple card. So I'm gonna sort of trim this up a little bit because I want that, and then just sort of pull some of my threads because I sort of like that really grungy, used up look, like it's been hanging around under there for a while. Let me clear all these threads out of the way, and same thing over here. Just, and if you ever want to demonstrate them random, if you just sort of cut and pull, then you get that more, you know, rugged look on your edges with that. I know somebody was asking me about that. They're like, how do you make it? Because I cut mine, it always looks straight. It's, you know, trial and error. Or, you know, you can pull it tight and then just sort of clip it as you go. If you have any experience cutting hair, you know, when you do, you don't want your bangs to look straight across, like in a Dutch boy style, then that's the way you do that too. Okay, so we got that. Now, got my little notepad here. I want to put a topper on my little notepad. So, I'm just going to use a scrap of the, well, no, yeah, no, let's use the green. Find my green scrap here I have. I don't want to use the big one. So, you know what? Let me get... Oh, there it is. I know it fell on the side. So I have this where it was all old and faded. I'm going to actually use that, because then I don't have to use any of that good cardstock. And I'm just going to simply put it to one edge, over to the other edge. I'm just going to cut. No measuring. Then I'm just going to take it, I'm going to fold it in half again. And I'm not going to burnish it because I just want it sort of folded so I can fit it over top of it. And since this is a little thick, that's going to keep me from having to score and pull out my scoreboard and all that. Versus if I had burnished it down, it would have been an extremely, you know, almost got like a triangular point to it. And I don't want that. I just want it to sort of fold around. That allows me to be able to shape it. Now you can glue this if you want. I, however, do not want mine to come unglued. So I am going to use my Tim Holtz tiny attacher here. 1, 2. And yes, I do know that we have to go back and do the lace and stuff on the front. And if you're smart, don't do like this. Ink it before you put it on there. Okay. So now I'm going to use my art glitter glue. And make sure you put a healthy dose on there. Make sure I'm in, yeah, I'm in film. And make sure I put a healthy dose on there. Because, you know, the last thing you want to do is get all this in the journal. Everything's going good and stuff starts falling out. I can't stand that. I would rather use a little bit too much glue than not enough. Okay. So we got that, and we're just going to line it up, sort of center it. Let me pull this down a little bit so I can see. And I'm just going to put mine closer to the top edge than the bottom because I want that little lip at the bottom. So I took mine in about 1/8 of an inch. And if you're worried about it being straight, I use my handy dandy ruler. Put it up along the edge. Yep. Pretty straight. Good enough for me. My dad would have always said good enough for government work. Okay. So there we've got that. And see, that just goes perfectly with the green. I really pulled it out. So I'm really glad I found the green. So you may want to use green. You can use red. Use white. Whatever color you want. Okay. So we're going to come in here. And I got this little scrap piece of lace like I used in the other one. And all I'm going to do, I'm not going to worry about it being straight. Just going to come over, clip it off. Again, not stressing, because why? It's junk journaling, and this is not about stressing. It's about relaxing, having a good time, and making something gorgeous on the way. This is my relaxing time, so I'm just going to plop that down. Make sure you sort of got it in there straight. But again, don't stress if it's crooked. And one thing I like about the Fabri-Tac, if you get a little bit extra, you just rub a little bit and it rolls off just like rubber cement did when we were in school. There we go. So there's the inside of our booklet. Let's do our outside. So we had that. Let me see. We used our red last time. I'm not sure I want to use my red this time. No, I don't know. The red really doesn't look all that bad. Sort of adds a little bit more of the... I'm going to pause you real fast. I'm going to see what else I have in my stash, and I'll be right back. I'm back. And I got in my stash, and I actually decided I was going to turn around and use some more of this green. So I'm just going to cut a strip off. And I'm going to eyeball it. Probably should have cut this with my cutter. It would have been a little straighter. But again, no worries. And I'm just going to... right here. So I'm going to come in and I'm just going to cut my little V shape, cut it towards the center, to the center. There you go. Ink it before you glue it, guys. And the #1 fault. Glue it on and forget to ink it. Okay. So, pull out my art glitter glue. And again, not perfect, but hey, you could definitely cut it and make it perfect if you wanted to. I sort of like that. Not perfectness. And put that on there. Okay, then I'm going to pull out my little piece that we used on the inside. And I don't want it to go all the way across. To cut just short, so I think I'm going to put it right here. Yeah, perfect. Throw a little Fabri-Tac down through there. Throw this up on the edge. Press it down. I'm not going to worry about the threads coming off the end again. I like that. If they get, you know, if that does bother you, feel free to, you know, clip it off if you want to. Okay. So now I'm actually going to use a little sentiment off the Peaceful Pine Stampin' Up set. Again, this just happens to be one that I have because I may or may not have in the past had a little bit to do with Stampin' Up. Okay, and I need a little scrap piece of paper, so I'm just going to use a little of my coffee dyed scrap. Put my lid back on my glue. I'm going to ink it up. With it being a sentiment, I'm not going to stamp off because I want it to be as dark as I can get it. Hopefully not. It always gets dark in some places and not the other. Hopefully that'll come out okay. If not, we have more scrap paper. We can do it again. And I'm just going to stamp it down, sort of push it, give it a little bit to sink into the paper. Ta-da! Put that back up. I need to get my stamp pad with my #6 on for later. Okay, then I'm just going to rip around here by hand, just tear. Nothing major. Make sure you don't have a lot of, I don't want a bunch of excess around the outside edges. You can leave as much as you'd like. That's just me. Then I'm going to ink up my edges. Ink, ink. Oh, and I need my Fabri-Tac because I'm doing it on lace. So I'm going to put a little Fabri-Tac on there, or a lot, whatever you decide to do. And then I'm going to just sort of even it up in the middle there. Push down on my little thing. And voila! Cute little notebook. And then you've got the back plain. If you wanted to put tea-dyed paper on the back to turn it into a journaling spot, you could. you know, you could go under here, or, you know, cover this all with tea-dyed paper, so when you use your notebook up, you've still got that area to write under. I just like it that way. Okay, so there's our birdie book. So now we're going to move on to this, the little ATC card, and I wanted to use some vintage music for that. Let me find my little card. Here it is. Okay, so I'm going to ink up the edges first. And again, I'm using the Distress Oxide by Tim Holtz. Well, not by Ranger, not by Tim Holtz. It is Tim Holtz brand. So I guess technically. And I'm going to glue this on here. And you don't have to pay attention to really to which direction that you put it if you don't care. Like if you don't care if it goes up and down. I personally want to put mine to where my music sort of shows the edge. So I'm sort of going out a little bit because I, you know, don't really care about that side over there. I want to get the cute little music on it. And this is actually vintage music paper. My grandmother died in '93, and it was part of her collection from when she played piano, when she first got her piano in the probably 50s. So, and it was old when she got it, so I'm guessing that's probably the 30s or 40s or so, when everybody was getting pianos, and at first, you know, people were first starting to get them in their homes. And I actually have that piano and her music, and I love it. It's one of my favorite things. That's actually where I got the name Dorothy from, was from my grandma. Again, with this being vintage, it will crack if you're not too careful. I don't mind that so much because it sort of gives it some flavor. Oops. Did you guys see what I did? I didn't put my lace underneath there. Let's see if I can. Okay, well, I didn't put my lace under there, so we're ad-libbing and switching it up. So let me cut off a little piece of lace while we okay. I have this really cute little ribbon over here that I'm going to use instead. And I'm just going to run it off the side, or should I run it? I don't want to do that because I don't want to block my sentiment. Well, see, that's right. I shouldn't have got to talking. I'll tell you what, we will fix it up in a bit. Let's see, let me find a piece, and I'm just going to tear off, ideally, about the size I need for the back, and I'm not measuring because if I don't have to measure, the better. So you guys are actually going to get a bonus over what I did earlier. We'll make a cutesy little paper clip to hold it in, and we'll just use it on top of a page. Ew, I really like that not get this. Before you ink it, stick it up there. I know, you guys are probably like, really? She makes a lot of mistakes. That's because I just craft. I'm not gonna pretend I don't make mistakes or edit them. We were talking in the live chat yesterday and about, you know, people making mistakes and, you know, they don't edit them out of their videos and all that kind of thing. And I was like, well, you get me 100% what I am. I'm not gonna try to act like don't make mistakes, because this girl makes them probably more than most of you guys, probably. And I'll be the first to admit it. Okay. Let me grab a paper clip. Sorry guys, I had to get in front of my lighting. Okay, I'm just going to use a simple brass paper clip. And I'm just going to loop my little ribbon through. And I'm going to tie it off, and we'll have a cute little paper clip to go on top. Not a lot to it, super simple, but it's cute. Voila. Simple little paper clip. So, let me get our book over here. We'll go ahead and put this to the side. That's the one, our example. So we'll paper clip our little one in here. That's sort of cute too, because it sort of has that hanging stocking look. So I sort of like that. So feel free to add the lace if you want to, and the paper clip. Again, this is just my mess up, so that's what that is. Then let's find a place for our birdie book. I don't know if I want to build. Yes, we will hold on to the birdie book. We'll use it in a little bit. Okay, let me get all this up, and we will do our Concertina. Okay, we're going to need a piece of coffee tea-dyed paper, and we're just going to do this really easy. Fold it down the middle. Make sure you crease it really well. And then it's you can cut it with a cutting, if you want to cut it with your trimmer or whatever. I'm not going to stress. I'm just doing it that way. Again. Or, I mean, you could pre-cut it, coffee stain it. That way you have the brown on all sides of the edges. If you're pre-planning it, you can do that. Then we're going to fold it in half. And again, you could score that on a score. I'm not going to. Okay, then we're going to, you know what, don't fold that in half. I was going to do something, I did it different. We're going to fold it in thirds. Just fine. We'll just put that on the front, and then it'll be all covered up. Nobody will even know. And it doesn't have to be exact. It just fold it into thirds. And we're going to put the biggest one. I actually sort of like making the front one a tad bit, if you can see, just a tad bit bigger, because then you know it's going to cover everything up. Okay, so this is easy. We're going to get it. You're going to ink around your edges. And like I said, you know, if this was like an envelope, you know, that you could open up, it would be perfect for a money size envelope. But I'm doing, like I said, a Concertina. And again, I will link Geek. I think it's G. I don't know. I'm hacking your name up. Probably it's GI space capital KERR. I'll put the link in the description box below. I got the idea from her, so I'll link that video. Okay, we're just going to glue it on. I'm going to use my Big Bite. You're welcome to use what you want to. If you're using your Big Bite, I just have mine at 2.5. I just line it up with the back side. I don't know if you guys can see where I'm lining it up over here, just on the back side. And I'm using 3/16. Any kind of hole punch will work. I'm going to flip it upside down because I want it in the same spot. And I just go by feel. I get it right to the side where I can feel it. Again, pop it down, and I've got my holes cut. So you have your holes like that. Now, trying to reach over here. Let's see if I have 4. Yes, I do. I'm going to put my hole reinforcers. I didn't do this when I did it, but, you know, sometimes hindsight's better than foresight. So just to protect it, I'm going to put them on the front and back, so it's not as likely to rip. I'm not going to put them all the way through the center, although, you know, you really could. Okay. There's that. Now we're going to cut our ribbon, and I just picked this out. It's actually it's a satin ribbon, and it's got almost like a sort of like a vinyl feel to it. And I just sort of guesstimate, because if I cut too much, and this ribbon is actually Ephemera. I think you probably can buy it at Walmart if you check there. Okay, so I'm going to turn it upside down. I'm going to make sure that the top, the side you want to face out on the other side, needs to be on top on the back. And we'll come back and straighten it up if it's not in a little bit. And then I'm just going to weave that through there, which is easy to do because it's pretty big holes. And again, I'm just going to weave it through there. And I'm going to make sure it's flat. Then I'm going to grab my ends. I'm going to hold it in the middle. And I'm just going to move it around, wiggle it around until you get where your ends are about even. That's pretty good for me. And then I'm going to turn it over. And then I'm going to take a scrap piece of paper, like I have, and I'm just going to sort of eyeball this because nobody's going to see it, so it doesn't matter. And I'm just going to cut it short of my holes. And I'm doing this just to cover over the ribbon, just to like make it a little bit more secure. So I'm going to take my Fabri-Tac, run between my holes, or whatever, you know, glue you're going to use. Pull it down, push it down. And then I'm going to use my art glitter glue on the paper part. Oops, wrong lid. That doesn't go on the art glitter glue. It is about close to probably 1 o'clock my time. So I'm running on leftover fuel, which probably doesn't help any. Okay, and I'm just gonna, you know, put that down, varnish it real good, make sure everything's glued down really well, because you don't want that to come loose, because with this being a pocket, that's why. Because if we didn't put, you sort of have to put this, because when you make your pocket, now if you're gonna glue it straight to your page, then you don't have to worry about it, because it's gonna be covered. But if you're gonna do a pocket, you don't want it to continually catch that ribbon and pull it loose. Okay, so then, and you can, because we didn't glue the really close to the ends, you're going to tie it just like you do if you were tying your own shoe. And I try to make sure both sides is pointed up. And then I make a loop, and then as I'm going around, when I pull this second loop in, I sort of stick it through backwards and then twist it around, just because it seems like, I don't know, my bow does better that way, for me anyway. Then you're gonna pull this down under here, and you can work it around, move it around wherever you need it to be. I don't want a horribly large bow. I just want a cute little bow. Okay. Then I cut mine. Yeah, okay, you do this, make sure your bow works, make sure everything's in the way up. Okay. Then I undo mine. This is just the way I do mine. Hold the back, unfold it all the way. Mine turned. Okay. So you're gonna have whatever, like mine, red's gonna show up that way. Okay. then I'm going to cut mine. If you can see, can you guys see that? Yes, you can. I'm going to cut mine, and you're going to cut them about even. Then I'm going to grab mine. Again, this is, you can leave it loose. You can bead it, you know, hang beads from it if you want to. I'm just going to tie mine with a small little knot at the end because I think it's cute. Sort of reminds me of, you know, the little bows on Santa's bag. I sort of try to even them out some. Okay. Then pull your ribbon tight again. Now, you can, it depends on how, this doesn't sound funny, depends on how reckless you are. You could, you know, just lay it out flat and cut them off before you tie your bow. I sort of like to tie my bow first and see where my ends, to make sure my ends are long enough, because if you just whack it off, you may not have enough to tie your little bow. And there we go. Let's say you got your cute little bow. And these are going to be longer because you have to have those. So don't tie your bow and then whack them off up here, because you're not going to have enough to pull your concertina fold out all the way. So let's flip our book open. Let's see, we've got this here. You know what? I'll show you something in a minute. I'm going to take that off. You're just going to be like, what? Here we go again. Okay. You're going to glue the back. You need to make sure your image is upright. You're just going along the edges. I'm going to use my... And I'm going to put a nice, you know, dab-a-doo of glue on there. All along the edges. Now, when you go to rub this down, make sure you're careful, because if you get like where the space is down here, that's going to glue it, and you don't want that. So, I'm going to doctor mine up a little bit more when I put it in the book here, so you can see what you can do. And this is, I mean, you can make it not as wide. Mine is exactly half, so it's going to fit right across the page. I sort of like that. It sort of breaks the page up some. Okay. I'm going to slide that down in there. Give it a little bit more time to dry before I go. So while we're waiting for it to dry all the way, I'm going to open mine up, flip it this way so I can work down here. And I'm going to use a wee bit of lace across the bottom just to add some color to it. So let me put my topper on my art glitter glue here, if I can get it in there. There you go. And so just go across the bottom of there. And then that small white, I think I've got some more of it left. I'll look and see. If I have some more of it left, then I'll run it right, yeah I do. Then I'll run it right across the top of there. Just sort of, and I have almost a perfect amount left. It's almost like I meant to do it even though I didn't. How does that work? And of course we all love when it works like that, huh? I'm not going to put any kind of sentiment or anything on there because I don't want to take away from the Santa in his sleigh. Okay, let's let that dry a little bit. While that's doing, I'm going to flip this over. And I've got my 6, because, you know, we've been marking all the numbers, which I sort of like, because it's sort of like, and I'm not laying mine in order on the pages, because I sort of like that mystery of, you never know what you're going to find or where it's going to be. Where do I want to put this? think I'm going to put it right here in this corner. I don't know. Let me make sure you guys can see. Yep. Okay, I'm going to put this right here in the corner. Hopefully my head wasn't in the way. Excuse me. Okay. Then I'm going to come back with some of this really cute multi-striped washi that we put on our book yesterday. And I'm just going to go from one side to the other and then trim it off. I don't want it to hit the music, so I'll go in between the music lines, the score lines. I'll trim it up. And that has a little color on the back too. So you have a little journeying place up there, down here. You could put your date down here and, okay, let's see how this is, yep. And that's good, so, yep, all dry. That's one thing I love about Fabri-Tac, and even Art Glitter Glue. They both, you know, you're not waiting a multitude of, you know, some glues you have to set and do it and wait overnight and all that, and I sort of like not having to do that. Okay. I'm not going to sit here and make you guys watch me try to fix my bow again because I'm a little OCD about it. Okay, that's going to be good enough for right now. So see, we have that little pop of color at the bottom now. We've got that in there, and our little birdie notebook. Slide in there, it sort of really goes with the green in the background. And the toys. That little doll is the same doll that's in the, almost the same doll. A little bit different as the one in the sleigh, so it just, and the blue with the blue, it just goes really good. It needed a teddy in there though. Okay, so there is day 6 put on the page. And again, the concertina opens up, so you have journaling room in there. So even though you've taken up the page with everything, you still have a lot of journaling room. So I do want to go back because I had this big red clip here, and I'm actually going to take it off. Our envelope that we did yesterday on the back of our page that I put our pocket in, I just slid it over there, slid the envelope flap over there because it sort of just hides behind the tag. But I will put our little clip we just made in there to hold it, and that gives us a little tabbage on the side going on. So again, we are getting thicker as we go. And like I said, you know, we're using the 11 pages, which is 44 total pages, front and back. I'm not going to put any extra added maps and that kind of thing and all that. I'm literally just going to do the pages and fill it up because, you know, I don't think we're going to have a lot of stuff to go still. So we're, again, into day 6. Again, like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell, Etsy store, Facebook link, Kerr's link is down, or Kerr's link is down, will be down there. I'm trying to think of what else. A link to the free digital is down there. Again, day 6, we will be back tomorrow with day 7. You guys have a great day. You know, enjoy your weekend. And I'm going to enjoy my birthday today and celebrate, and I will be back again tomorrow with you guys. Have a great day.